Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially 1 minute past midnight on the 17th of May 2019, which means, drumroll please, it has officially been a year, day for day, since I'd lost my job. And in case you're wondering why the ridiculous outfit and the hair and everything, is because I just came back from walking a fashion show for one of my favorite designers. Because one of the things that have happened in the past year is that I started to do professional modeling. And another thing that has happened is that I am still here on YouTube after a year. And when I was making that first video, I was crying. I had no idea whether I would ever be, I guess, brave enough to publish it. And I was terrified of what the future might bring. And it turns out that the future is fucking epic. So I'm gonna go to bed now and I'm gonna make the rest of this video when I wake up in a couple of hours. Because just to give you an update, part of my current life involves, well, still being my own boss, but it also involves working for a variety of clients in a variety of different locations. So I just came back from France after shooting a gig for the World Championships of Improv Theatre. And I've been working 18-hour-long days for like the past 8-9 days. And I'm about to go into 3 more days of shooting for another client. And then I've just done the fashion show today and I was editing this morning. So yes, the self-employed life is not all glamorous and I am very tired right now. But I've never been happier in my entire life than I am right now. And I just wanted to record this message because I know that I'm going to do the rest of the video tomorrow. But it is 1 minute past midnight. Well, it's not like 3 minutes past midnight. But to any of you wondering what's happened with me a year later, this is it. So have a look and see you later, ladies and gentlemen. And also, here's to fucking believing in yourself. Because if I could take that video and give it to myself a year ago when I lost my job, I would have spared myself so much anxiety, so many tears, so much fear. If I could only know what life had in store for me. Fuck. But I would like to believe that it still only ever gets better from now on. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Well, today morning. Today morning around 7 or 8 a.m. We shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 17th of May 2019, which means it's a year since I've lost my job. And I was supposed to originally make that video in the morning and it's now 9:55 p.m. so let's hope I can upload it before midnight. I was working the entire day and I couldn't liberate myself before. So life update. Because I promised myself I would do a life update a year after I lost my job, and it's also a year since I started my YouTube channel. So let's all drink to that because this is very exciting and it's a massive milestone. So thank you to all of those of you who are watching, everyone who's watching on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and here on YouTube. Thank you for sticking with me through thin and thick, and that's not even how this goes. Thick and thin, thick and thin. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just watched the video that I posted on this channel exactly 1 year ago, and I encourage you to watch it right now. I'll link it in the box below, in the description box. I lost my job a year ago. I was scared, but I also realized that I was optimistic. I haven't rewatched that video in many months, and rewatching it now, in hindsight, knowing what has happened over the past 12 months, it makes sense that everything that happened, because to this day, I am stunned by the amount of faith in the world that I had when everything was going wrong. I still can't believe it. So when I was shooting that video, what had happened is I'd just come back from a vacation where my mum and I were in a plane that was on fire, and basically everybody thought that we were all going to die inside that plane. Thankfully we didn't. And then I came back to London, and in less than 48 hours, I lost my job because the company that I was working for went bankrupt. Now that is not all, ladies and gentlemen. What you don't know is 4 days after I lost my job, there was a gas leak in my house, and when British Gas arrived, they told me if they'd come 10 minutes later, the entire building would have potentially exploded with me inside of it. So I didn't just touch death once, I touched it twice within a week last year. And on top of all of this, the morning after the gas leak happened, my ex-boyfriend at the time decided that it was a great time to take a break from our relationship because he couldn't cope with what was happening to me. So in less than a week, I nearly died twice, I lost my job, and I lost my relationship. Which means that basically life as I knew it was gone. And following like that week from hell, I started having panic attacks again, and I was not really doing okay for a couple of weeks. I was so stressed out. I was applying for like 500 different things on LinkedIn, and like nothing was coming out of it. And then at one point I was physically unable to do that anymore. Like I would cry, I would be sick in the morning. It was really, really bad. And I decided to just stop. I literally decided to just stop and let the world do what it will, and I just believed that good thing would come my way. And funnily enough, the phone started ringing. I started getting clients for photography, for filmmaking, through friends, through people who haven't contacted me in years, that just suddenly wrote to me on Facebook out of nowhere and were like, Monica, I'm doing this shoot, like, would you like to come and do this for me? And that's what started happening. And so within a month, I was making a full-time income out of being a photographer and a videographer, having never worked for myself, not having a proper portfolio. Okay, I had one film that was in festivals, but that was that. Like, and out of nowhere, all of those opportunities started coming to me without me even making that much effort, just being open to it and believing with everything that I had inside of me that this was going to be the best thing that's ever happened to me. And when I also started my YouTube channel, my friend Dee, who is a YouTuber, she invited me to go to LA, and I said yes, even though I had no money for rent and I didn't know how this was going to come about, but I wanted to do it. I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, I might as well do it like full time and go all in. And I got sponsored by someone that I knew from the past, who believed in, I guess, what I was doing, who believed in my messages, in my mission, in my, you know, what I was creating, and they paid for my flights to LA. And it was insane how everything came about. And then I went to VidCon end of June, and I met so many incredibly talented creators, because I didn't just go, like, I got a creator's pass, which is like regular for anyone who does YouTube that you can buy. But I didn't just do the regular things. I ended up making friends and going to sort of like all of the featured creator parties and all of the, I don't know, like the most insane and exclusive things that you can do in LA. And I was just this person that just appeared out of nowhere. And somehow I managed to just be in the right place at the right time. And I've met so many incredibly kind and talented people in LA who were living full time off of doing something that they loved. All of them were living full time out of being a YouTuber or out of creating videos, out of creating pictures. And I was like, well, if they can do it, so can I, right? And then I came back to London and I started having clients out of nowhere. Like, I went to maybe 2 networking events and I had solid leads from that, and people just came into my life at the right time. It was insane. I didn't even have to seek it out. And I think that's the most like insane, shocking thing in this whole story, is that I don't even feel like I made that much effort for the right kind of people and the right kind of clients to come into my life, for me to be able to make a living and stay in London. And by the way, I'm still in my flat. I don't know if you recognize this from the video from a year ago. I'm still in my flat. I'm happy to say that I managed to keep it paying rent. Hopefully it will stay that way. But ladies and gentlemen, the last 12 months have been the most incredible 12 months of my entire life. I have never been happier. I have never felt more like myself than I do right now. I realized that taking a risk on being happy is not taking a risk at all. Because what's the alternative? Spending your life being miserable? Well, fuck this, you might as well die. And none of us know, in fact, when we're going to die. So what the fuck are you waiting for? If you're not doing what you love, and I wasn't in my previous job, then it is within your power to change it, even if it seems scary as fuck at the time. If you make that decision yourself, if you don't if you don't actually lose your job, if you choose to quit your job, then more power to you. Because at least you're not forced into that situation, whereas I was just forced into it and sort of like had to deal with it. But genuinely, I wish I could just take all of my happiness and just share it with all of you. And I hope that this message and this testimonial a year later encourages you to do the things that you love and to lead an inspired, extraordinary life, because it is possible. And I couldn't have imagined how money would come to me, like how I would be able to afford rent, to afford staying in London, to afford traveling, but it did. All I do was continuously, unshakably believe that I deserved to have the life that I dream of. And of course you do work every day, whether it is you work on your art or on your music or whatever it is that you dream of doing. Of course, like, you put in a certain amount of effort every day into creating new things. But oftentimes we worry so much about how things are going to come about, but that's not our job to worry about that. And worrying has never helped anyone. Our job is to have a very clear vision, like write it down, a very clear vision of what you want your life to be like, and then take steps every single day towards that life, and just know that it will come to you. And it does. It did to me. Just to sort of give you an idea of the things that I've done, because I feel like you need a bit of context to it. I signed with a professional modeling agency after being rejected by 11 other agencies saying that I was too fat and too short to do modeling. And I've walked London Fashion Week in September 2018, which is one of the highest honors that you could ever have, like within modeling industry. To walk London Fashion Week is fucking insane. So I've done that. I have continued traveling. I've been to Mauritius, I've been to Sweden and Denmark, and I am about to go to Vietnam and Cambodia in a week, and I'm so excited. I've also continued blogging, and that has been so incredibly rewarding to see that there is an audience there, that there are people out there with whom what I say and what I do resonates. And all of the messages that I see from you guys, all of the comments, all of the compliments, everything is, you know, I spent my life being rejected and being told that the people I loved didn't love me back. So guys, like, if you're watching this, I don't think you realize how much your presence in my life means to me. Because starting a YouTube channel and continuing blogging, I've been blogging on Instagram now for 15 months nearly, and I've been doing it every single day. Every single day. There may have been about 10 days in the entire 15 months that I have not sent a post. And having structure in my life is definitely what helped me pull through when I didn't have a job, and when I first like didn't have clients or wasn't sure like how I was going to live and what I was going to do. So that has been such an incredibly life-changing experience, because I realized that what I have to say matters, and that I can help people and, you know, maybe inspire people to also be happy and create happiness rather than like attribute it to outside events or to other people. And that has also given me so much value, because I always felt unlovable and I always felt unimportant. And I've had terrible past experiences, as you would know from like my bullying video that I posted a couple of months ago, which was probably the most private thing that I've ever shared with you guys. And knowing that what I have to offer to the world is not only valid, but it is actually welcomed, that there are people out there who actually want to hear from me or want to see what I create. It's given me a faith and a love for myself that I've never known before, because I used to be so unhappy. I was terribly depressed for a year and a half earlier in my 20s, and I just always felt like there was something wrong with me. And in this past year, I have just experienced so much joy and happiness and love and acceptance, and I cannot express my gratitude enough for that. Even the fact that, I mean, I now, you know, I get to work with like amazing fashion brands, and I get to even do sometimes sponsored content as a blogger and all of that. It's unimaginable. I mean, I only started doing that 15 months ago. I started YouTube a year ago. So it's still kind of like a pinch me moment that this is what my life is like now. But I hope for all of you, for whoever is watching this, I hope that you find the courage within yourself to pursue the things that you love, and to know with absolute certainty that life will reward you for pursuing that, for pursuing whatever your calling is, whatever your dream is. There are some things that I can't even share publicly yet. Maybe I will be able to do it in a couple of years, I don't know, but it's been amazing. I have never felt more at peace with myself. I have never felt happier. And you know, if even the fact, actually I have a story to tell you real quick. Even the fact that one of the biggest reasons why I hesitated to start a YouTube channel for about 2 years, because I wanted to do it for a really long time, is because I thought that I wouldn't get jobs, you know? I thought that once people would see what I actually was like or what my personality was like, that they wouldn't think I was serious enough to get jobs. And the funniest thing happened. One of now my good friends, who at the time was a stranger, she's an actress, she's amazing, and she reached out to me and she said she watched one of my YouTube videos, and she said, Monica, you're one of the most authentic people that I know, and I would like to work with you. Let's do projects together, like paid projects. And I was floored. And still to this day, I think that's one of the best things that came out of me being on YouTube and just sort of me being myself. Like, people actually now give me jobs because of who I am. And that is insane. Like, that just blows my mind daily. So yeah, just, if you need examples of people who did crazy shit and just decided to go for it and just do what they love and be who they actually are, I hope my story and I hope that what I'm sharing with you can help you. There is a couple of things that I wanted to share with you that I've learned in the past year. And the first one is that life responds to whatever you proclaim about it to be true. In my video a year ago, I said that I believed in kindness of strangers and that I believed that good things would happen. And they did. They did in hundreds. I know that it can seem so presumptuous to just claim things about life openly, because who amongst us really has an idea about how life works? But it worked for me. And I just want to share it with you, and hopefully some of you can benefit from that and can benefit from my story and what happened to me. Thing number 2 is that I'm actually so grateful in hindsight for everything that's happened, because I never realized how strong I was, and I never realized how much I could endure until I had to endure it. And it was awful, but it gave me a confidence and a love for myself as a human, the likes of which I've never known before. And although I don't wish upon any of you that something like that happens, because it is terrifying when it does, I'm really grateful for it. And I'm grateful that I found myself in that. This past year has also been the most exploratory and the most creative year of my life. I realized that I could create things every day, that I could try and fail at creating certain things, that I could get better, you know, try again, fail again. I asked myself so many questions about the kind of person I wanted to be, the kind of messages that I wanted to share, and how I can contribute to the world with everything that I have to offer, you know? And I still ask myself that question, and there's not one fixed answer, but the freedom that I gain from creating the art that I want to create and sharing the messages that I want to share, there's nothing like it. And if you know, if you feel the same way, if you feel that you have something to share with the world, but maybe you're scared of being rejected or ridiculed, I would highly encourage you to share it anyways, because even if you just help one person or you touch one person's life, that's enough. Like, your job is done. So if you have something within yourself that is burning to be shared, go do that, please. Ultimately, I realized that I'll never fully eliminate risk from my life. In fact, I've learned to embrace it. I don't know whether, you know, I'll have money in 6 months' time. I don't know. I still don't know how my clients come to me, but they somehow seem to be flowing in, so I'm just going to ride that wave. But risk is a part of an inspired life. We're not here to safely arrive to the grave. Like, we're all going to die anyways, and we might all die tomorrow. I mean, with the state of the world as it currently is, you shouldn't feel like, don't feel secure and comfortable, because you never know what's going to happen. So please don't waste your life away having an uninspiring job or being unsatisfied with your life simply because you're safe, because you have enough money in your account. That's bullshit. Live a life where you actually wake up excited to see the next day. I love Mondays. I love Mondays. I used to hate Mondays when I had a 9-to-6 job, and now I love them. I mean, I mostly don't even have weekends because I work most weekends. But then again, I can make my own schedule a lot of the time. So if I feel like sleeping in until midday on a Monday, not that it ever happened. But if I feel like sleeping in until midday on a Monday, I can, potentially, hypothetically. So it's possible. So please take a risk on your life and on your dreams. And finally, I just want to say, a massive collective thank you to all the people that came into my life in various ways and have brought so much joy and happiness over the past 12 months. I realized that I'm sometimes shit at replying to messages, but I'm getting better and I'm sending voice messages now. So if you don't hear back from me, I promise, like, I will get to you. It just sometimes takes a bit of time, and I apologize from the bottom of my heart for it. But I just wanted to express a collective thank you to anyone who has at some point entered my life, even if it's just for one day, one evening. It doesn't matter. You all matter so much to me, and I'm just grateful to have all of you in my life in various ways, from close, from far away. It really has been the most incredible year, and long may it continue, ladies and gentlemen, because we are on a roller coaster that only goes up, as John Green says, whom I've met at VidCon, and I actually told him that that was my favorite quote ever. And it was just one of my life's highlights, honestly. It was amazing. But I just want to leave you with all the hope and love and passion I have for life that I hope to share with you. And I still don't know exactly where life is taking me, and I still have no idea where I'm going to be in 6 months' time or in 12 months' time. But I'm perfectly okay with it. I'm actually excited for it, whatever it's going to be. I'm happy. I'm just happy with who I am. I'm happy with my life. So, you know, let's just see what happens. Okay, guys, I love all of you. Please stay in touch. And if this video has helped you or inspired you in some way, or if it just made you laugh, please let me know in the comments below, because I actually want to hear from you, and let's have a chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, believe that good things will come your way, and they fucking will.